Here are 7 new whiskeys that I just added to my collection. What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to get right into it. Added 7 new whiskeys to my collection over the past few months, but haven't gotten a chance to really shoot any content relating to these, so we're going to get right into it. Number 1, JT Mellic Rice Whiskey. Now, this is one out of Louisiana, I believe, somewhere down there. I'm pretty sure it's Louisiana, but it's one that seems to be catching the attention of a lot of people. A lot of people have basically said that they can't even tell that this is rice whiskey. It still has more of a bourbon profile. So either way, I'm really interested in this, and the last experience I really had with rice whiskey was part of Little Book Chapter 4 when they did a mix with rice whiskey. So I wasn't really the biggest fan of Chapter 4 because of that. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what this particular bottle brings. Does it really change the profile? Maybe it has to do with the heat down there. I don't really know, but I am interested to see, is this more of a bourbon profile, or are we going to go in a whole different direction with it being a rice whiskey? All right, number 2, this is Maker's Private Select. This is a bottle that was picked from a local liquor store here, Westclay Wine and Spirits in my area. This is one, I get a question a lot of what is my favorite whiskey, and I do not have a favorite whiskey. I have favorite whiskeys depending on situations and what mood I'm in and all types of things. It's not just one thing, but one bottle that I buy almost every time I see it is Maker's Mark Private Selects. And the reason is because of the different stave combinations and profiles that you can have. So there's 1,001 possible combinations with Maker's Mark Private Select bottles. So the fact that I can have the same bottle but have a totally different experience with all these different whiskeys is one of my favorite things. I think it's a lot better than a single barrel that I'm trying to pick all the little differences out. With the Maker's Mark process, there's a high chance that this is going to taste different from bottle to bottle. And a lot of people have actually asked me, is there really a difference between those? And I think there is. This one is called Prestige Worldwide. Awesome name. And it's definitely heavy leather, tobacco. It gives speakeasy type of vibes, but they know how to pick barrels at that store. I've gotten a chance actually to help pick some of the Maker's Mark picks before, so a fun experience overall. One of my favorite bottles in general, one of my favorite stores. I had to get it. All right, number 3 is Frey Ranch Uncut Bourbon. This one is just one that out of Nevada, and it's one that really seems to be catching a lot of people's attention as well. It's, to my understanding, they do everything. They do everything from growing the grain and mashing it, all that, all the different pieces. It's their whiskey, it's their grain. And to my knowledge, they've got to be the only ones doing this. I don't really know of anybody else that's going from grain to glass, literally, except for them. And to have an uncut version of their product, I can't wait to try this. I wish distribution opens up a little bit to where it's a little bit easier to get my hands on this. It was not that easy, but call in a few favors and I was able to get this bottle. Can't wait to try it. All right, number 4, My Lemon Green. This is the unabridged bottle. This brand is one that I keep talking about. My Lemon Green has shown up now a few times in videos of mine, and it's because I really, really like this brand. I think that what they are doing is their own spin, their own twist on the whiskey world. And I think that they are kind of showing us that good products can be produced and blended and all these different things aged in Texas. Texas can do good things. And I think there maybe were a few different brands that put different whiskeys out. And I don't know if they were just kind of getting used to the way that the maturation process is down there with the heat and humidity. I don't know. But a lot of those products did not seem to go well with a lot of consumers. And now I think you see a lot of different Texas distilleries maybe playing around with that and just trying to figure out better processes. I'm not sure. But the fact that they are able to take different whiskeys, blend it together, have their own, they're starting to really understand the aging process down there and how to mature those barrels. I think that they're doing an excellent job. I really like their very small batch. I did a review of that one, and I can't wait to try this one as well. All right, number 5 is from Middle West Spirits out of Ohio. This one is the Double Cask series. They had, I believe, 3 different bottles in the series. I wish I could have all 3. I couldn't find all 3. I found one of them though, and this is the sherry cask finished one. So I heard that this one is actually pretty good. I've heard they're all actually pretty good, but I really wanted the Pumpernickel Rye. I think it's part of this series as well. But I've heard so many great things. I have not actually gotten a chance to try anything from Middle West Spirits. I'm excited in general to try this bottle and have this in my collection now. All right, number 6, this comes to us from Ben Holiday. This one is Rickhouse proof of their Rye Mash Bill. Now they have 2 bottled and bond products. One's the bottled and bond bourbon. The other one is a wheated bourbon, but it's still a bourbon. Wheated mash bill versus a rye mash bill. I've had the Rickhouse proof of the wheated bourbon, and I thought if you go up, I think it's 119 maybe, if I remember right, somewhere in there, 115, 119, to go from a bottled and bond product that's 100 proof to, you know, the difference of 15 or 18 or whatever it is, proof points, 19 proof points, could it really make that big of a difference to go to a Rickhouse proof, which I assume is their way of saying batch proof or barrel proof or whatever? Could it really make that big of a difference? And I was surprised at how much of a difference that actually made. At a higher proof, I think this bottle is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best whiskeys I think I've had so far this year. This is the Rye Mash Bill, and this is one that I want to see, does this have the same impact? At a higher proof, is this whiskey going to now be one of my whiskeys of the year or something like that? I mean, it's just a bottle that instantly, at least with the wheated one, instantly started to compete with a Weller Full Proof or something like that in my head. So I'm curious what this tastes like, and I'm curious, are there any other allocated bottles or really, really hard to find bottles that maybe this can compete with? Is it going to be at least something a little bit more attainable that can relate to an E.H. Taylor barrel proof or, you know, whatever the case is? If it comes anywhere close to that, it's definitely a buy for me. All right, last but not least, number 7, Jack Daniel's Rye. This is the barrel proof single barrel. This bottle is one that was recently released from Jack Daniel's, and I know a lot of places seem to get this pretty quickly. Indiana was like falling behind, and I've heard that Northern Indiana had it just sitting on the shelves, but in Indianapolis, I could not really find this bottle, not easily. And I actually went into my local grocery store, Market District, shout out to you all, and they had it just sitting there on the shelf. I absolutely took this bottle. I've been excited to try it for a long time now. I like the single barrel rye. I like the single barrel barrel proof Tennessee whiskey, the single barrel Tennessee whiskey. I've liked pretty much everything Jack Daniel's has put out, but I have not gotten a chance to try this, and I'm sure at barrel proof it's going to be absolutely amazing as well. So that does it. That's 7 bottles that have been added to my collection. I can't wait to taste each of these. I can't wait to try them, score them, do reviews, all that stuff. Hopefully they can start to enter into some of these lists that I'm putting together. It's just been a fun time to try new things. I know that there's a lot going on in the whiskey world right now where they say that the boom is on the decline and all these different things, but I think at the same point, we're kind of at this place where, at least for me, I'm tired of all the allocated bottles. I'm tired of trying to fight everybody for them. I don't think it's worth it. A lot of the times it's not worth it when I have gotten a chance to try those things. But there's so many products and so many distilleries doing great things right now. So many craft distilleries that are now starting to get in good age ranges. Whatever the case is, there's so much good whiskey sitting on a shelf at any store you go to. You can find a good bottle, I promise you that. Thank you so much for tuning in today to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.